Is there any reason why you allowed the informant, Mr. Nku, to follow you?
Before we left, we went to our different cars. So we drove together. In my understanding, I thought maybe Mr. Nku, along the way, will take another, because we were now following the track to another destination. And that was not discussed whether Mr. Nku will be part of us or will follow us.
And you will accept, at least for a moment, that it's not ideal for an informant, especially having given you the necessary information, to be part of your contingent to a potential second crime scene.
I would explain this in this way. Sometimes informers give information to the police, and some policemen, even if the information was positive, they will say it was not positive. And in this instance also, when we arrive at Scania, I questioned this. I asked Mr. Mashaba, because Mr. Nku was now parked in the premises. He alluded to me that Nku had a previous experience whereby he gave information to the police, and they even if the information was positive, but they said it was negative.
But in your understanding that he had no business of being there?
Because he was not taking part. He was always seated in his car. And sometimes when we follow information, we'll drive with the informant, as long as the identity of the informant will be concealed.
But there's no concealment here. You go into a potential dangerous situation, which could be actually dangerous for him, who is a civilian. And you have obtained all the necessary information, or was there any other information you required from him?
No, according to his explanation, that was only that.
So when I say he had no business in being there, what's your comment?
I won't fully agree with you, commissioners, because, like I'm saying, it was because of his previous experience. Even though I would say it was at least dangerous for him, but as long as he is not partaking, that for me, it was not going to be a problem.
No, but you didn't know that. You didn't know his past experience. And I'm not sure how is that relevant, though.
But this is the explanation that I got from his handler, Chief Mashaba. And I wouldn't dictate for Mashaba to how he must handle his informant.
So you're deferring to Mr. Mashaba then?
Commissioners?
Are you relying on Mashaba then to say, because he said, because of his previous experience, that Mr. Nku wants to be there to make sure that this operation is a success? You will say it's because of Mr. Mashaba?
That's correct. I wouldn't have powers to say, Mr. Mashaba, tell your informant, because I suggested, we spoke about it. If he had problems, or if he shared the same sentiment with me, he would have said, maybe advise Mr. Nku not to be part of the operation, or not to be nearer to the place.
I suppose the question is, if you were in charge and of making the final decision, would you have had Mr. Nku there?
It's a very dicey question, but I think if the informant, if I was a handler and the informant was having such a concern, as long as he's safe and his identity is concealed, I was not gonna
No,
have
but
any
you-
difficulty.
No, I'm not saying put propositions. I'm saying in the situation that you were in, you are not his handler, you're not aware of his previous.
Concealment is identity is concealed.
Okay. Let's go to paragraph 11 then.
While in transit, I then started calling other members from different units for assistance, backup, including the following. I called Warrant Officer Chidi from Crime Intelligence Unit in Jamestown, but he told me that he is unable to make it as he was attending a funeral in Limpopo. His phone was off. I then called Warrant Officer Pukungwane from Alberton CIS. Maybe I must explain this. CIS stands for Crime Investigation Services, which is the detectives. He also could not assist because he said he was not feeling well after taking a COVID-19 vaccine and therefore indisposed. He also indicated he is the one who gave Mr. Mashaba my contacts, as Chief Mashaba called him before calling me for assistance. So maybe to explain this, before Chief Mashaba called me, this is the person that he called first, Warrant Officer Pukungwane of Alberton. That is how, because I didn't even have Mashaba's number, Mashaba didn't even have my numbers. So he got my numbers from Warrant Officer Pukungwane. I then called Warrant Officer Pakula from National Investigation Unit, which is called Nino. Fortunately, he said he was available to assist, but he was still at home preparing himself for work. He requested me to call him again when this information is positive, and we agree on that. I then called my station commander, Lieutenant Colonel Risenga Albert Chauke, to report that I'm following an information with a member from Gauteng Traffic Police about a truck which is alleged to be carrying or transporting drugs to Ireton. He did not express any difficulty with what I was reporting, and he requested me to be update or provide him with a feedback on an opportunity time.
Warrant Officer, none of these people that you have listed, and starting with Maja when you got the call the first time, and here in paragraph 11, none of them is from your Zonke Zizwe police station. You've called people outside.
That's correct.
I assume you're not the only member of Zonke Zizwe. There are other capable SEPS members there.
To be honest with you, Commissioners, at Zonke Zizwe at that time, because I left Zonke Zizwe at, I think, before 7.
Yes.
Other office members were not available. It's only a sector vehicle. And we operating with only one vehicle for the complaints and CSC duties. Sorry about that.
So, well, my question was going to be, why did you not call anyone from Zonke Zizwe when you were making these calls? How come there's no one from your police station that you called and then have them tell you, I'm unavailable, I don't have a car, or they're not answering their phones? You've gone to everybody except anyone from your police station.
Is that because, like since I'm explaining that we only have one vehicle from Zonke which is doing sectors.
Yes.
So that I knew that even if I can call them, they wouldn't go with me because they will focus on doing CSC duties and attending to complaints around.
So at Zonke Zizwe, no one goes outside. Are you saying to us all the police at Zonke Zizwe police station, they work only inside?
No, detectives can.
Yes, so why did you not call one of them, or 3, 4, 5, whatever number you have, instead of calling people who say, I'm in a funeral in Limpopo, you called that person. How you choose them, you call DPCI, and then you call Pogungwane, who says, I'm not well, and when all of them are unavailable to you, you don't say, let me try one of, or 2 or 3 of my people in Zonkizizwe. You are in a police car, so you could have given them a lift. You could have gone back to fetch them.
Yes,
Because Chief Mashaba has the situation under control. Why did you not call your people?
that didn't cross my mind. Providence.
Okay. Thank you.
Were you focusing on any specialities, or were you just calling people at random?
I was calling people that I know that they will have a mandate, or they can work outside.
Were you calling people who have or were specializing in certain fields, or were you calling people at random?
I was calling people who, some of them are doing specializing, like Warrant Officer Chidi is from crime intelligence, so he can follow information. Then Brigadier Lewele, DPCI, he's the head of DPCI in Jamestown. So Warrant Officer Pukungwane is from Alberton. And I was calling people that I know they are always available, or that I've worked with them before.
So it was more a question of availability, according to your understanding, and not so much
in
what they specialized in.
That's correct, Commissioner.
All right, thank you.
Warrant Officer, Magane, just on that score, because you seem to be struggling to get hold of, from Chidi to even Pakula himself, he was not immediately available. Surely you could have just called 10-111 to get manpower. Did you try that?
No, I didn't. To be honest with you, I never thought of calling 10-111.
All right, let's proceed.
You knew, or you know about, we've heard there's a SANEB in DPCI. You know anything about it?
I know, that's why I called Brigadier Lewele.
Is he in SANEB?
No, he's at serious anti-corruption.
Yes.
But because I didn't have numbers of a SANEP member at DPCI, so I was going to ask him to organize a SANEP. That was the whole idea of calling Brigadier Lewele.
Is he the only DPCI person that you
That
know?
I've had his number. That I had his number. I called Warrant Officer Pakula from National. Fortunately, he said he was available to assist, but he was still at home preparing himself for work. He requested me to call him again when this information is positive, and we agreed. Okay. We then followed the track until we reached Ireton, Omnia Industrial Park, where the container was supposed to be delivered at Scania warehouse.
Warrant Officer, just stop there. You are now in Johannesburg.
Right inside Johannesburg.
Yes, because Ireton is that industrial area next to the FNB Stadium.
That's correct.
About 2 kilometers from the FNB Stadium. Now you are in Johannesburg jurisdiction. You've got Boyson's police station nearby. You've got Deep Kloof, you've got Omonde, you've got Mondio, you've got Central Johannesburg possibly. Even Lenesia. Lenesia is a bit off. Did you call any of those stations to say, we are people from Ekurhuleni, we are now going to be conducting a search operation in your area of jurisdiction. Please give us permission and support. I'll tell you why I'm asking this. We've heard from other witnesses in a different stream who said, because they were from Ekurhuleni, specifically EMPD, when they needed to come and conduct an operation within the Johannesburg area, they reported at the nearest police station to the station commander that we will be conducting an operation in your area. And they signed a book in that station. And that's how they were able to continue to conduct an operation. Now, in this case, you are now in Johannesburg. You are there to search and look for drugs. And you did not contact the police stations that are actually responsible for that area. Let me try and understand whether you contacted them, and if you did not, why you did not contact them.
No, I didn't contacted them
Why did you not contact them?
because already Warrant Officer Pakula, who also has a mandate to handle cases of drugs related and other high profile cases, agreed to say no, he's willing to come and assist.
But you say he was only willing to come and assist if the information was positive.
That's correct.
Meaning you would have had to open the container and establish that the information is positive before you called him.
That's correct.
Now, how were you going to open that container and, as the chair asked you earlier, verify that there are indeed drugs in that container? Because that's the only way you can verify that the information is positive and then call Pakula. But my main concern is the mere fact of you opening the container. It means you are conducting a search operation in the Joburg jurisdiction, and you are doing so without notifying the police stations that are responsible for that area.
True, commissioners.
And you did not even ask for backup. What if there was a shootout or something even more serious?
No, commissioners, if you follow information that is not violence related, sometimes we take things very easy. When duty calls, you tend to even forget that the so-called death. You just tell yourself that whatever happened, because we were not, if this thing was like a robbery or what we'd have called for backup.
But you're following a container that comes from a foreign country and landed at a port in Durban. And according to the information you have, it is carrying drugs. You don't consider that situation to be dangerous?
No.
Don't you think the owners of those drugs, assuming there were drugs in the container, would want to get hold of their drugs, and they would do anything to stop you from getting hold of them?
That was possible.
You didn't apply your mind to that at all?
No, I'll be honest with you. That never come to. It never come to that extent.
And this Nissan van you were driving in, I'm sorry to say, doesn't seem like a fast vehicle. It looks like one of those slow tortoise type vehicles that would take you forever to get anywhere.
Commissioners, like I was alluding that when duty calls, sometimes you tend to forget about the dangers that you might face.
I would expect a trained policeman to be alert to those things.
That's correct. That's why we need a refresher course. Because I was at the college in 1998. The other basic things, we tend to forget them and we don't apply them anymore. I agree. It's a very important remark that the commissioner is making.
Also, it was not your area of function. You are a statistics person. It's simply not your area of function.
Commissioners, I would like to explain this. The CIMEC, or my duties as an analyst, doesn't confine me from doing other duties out of that scope. I only get rated for those that are on my those that are my primary duties, but I can still do other things which are out of that.
But from the answers you've given in response to my colleagues, Commissioners Baloyi and Kumalo, it's quite plain that you were at sea. You were lost as to what needed to be done. It's not your area, as I say.
I would agree.
And also, you said you go out of the office when you do the environmental assessments, and that you would then attend to whatever may arise incidentally whilst you happen to be out there doing your assigned duties. Do you remember that?
That's correct, Commissioners.
Now, do you agree that what you were doing here was not incidental? You left your office upon being called and you went to involve yourself in this operation. It's unlike what you told us earlier, which is being involved with something, if something happens.